All right, Sam. Well, looking at the habits, I want to kick us off with asking you, what are the key habits, routines, the things that you don't hardly ever go a day, don't go long missing? If you can't do them all, you're going to, you're going to rest in these.
Number one is sleep. I sleep a lot.
How much, literally?
uh, I mean, I think a short answer is long enough, right? Until I am rested,
Yeah.
I don't mind. Like if I need to take a day away, if I'm tired and I'm going, okay, I need to take a day away, then I'll just sleep the whole day if I need to reboot. But obviously, depending on, I probably get an average of 6 hours a night, but 8 hours is what I try to shoot for. If I'm running, then I will break it up from 4 hours here to 6 hours here to 2 hour nap here. I mean, I'm a sleeper. One, I don't do well if I'm not rested.
Yeah.
And so I try to get the rest as much as I can every single day. Like if I'm getting a master's degree right now, along with the other stuff that I'm doing.
Beautiful.
And if I have to write a paper and it's due that day, but I'm super tired, I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah.
And even if I have to get it, turn in the next day, I'll take 5 points off the paper, then miss some sleep because I know I'm not going to execute well. So sleep is really big. I think another habit that's really big for me is um, hmm, watching movies.
Okay.
It's really big for me, not because I just love entertainment, but because it gives me a moment to break away. I think recreation is so important. You need your moments where you can pull from things outside of work. It's a form of, I guess, a form of another rest
Yeah.
for me. But also I enjoy it. I think fun is very important in life. I think laughter is very important in life. I think that having the ability to escape the reality that we're in is very important. And obviously, I think last but not least, Bible, right? I mean, I pray, I read, go to church, watch sermons, consume as much content as I can on podcasts from leadership but specific to the faith. So
Yes. I mean, I'm glad to hear you say that about sleep. I'm so stoked that it's becoming more popular all the time. I mean, cut my teeth in business back when it was, I've learned to live on 4 hours of sleep per night. And
right.
I now wear a tracker and I average over 8 hours of sleep a night
Come on.
uh,
Come
with,
on.
with no alarm clock. That's just, my body likes to, my body is done at 10 and it's ready to go at 6. Generally, but watching movies, that's interesting because it's not just entertainment. Man, I love something that'll take me somewhere, especially if it has something redemptive, makes me feel something. So
Yeah.
I got to ask then, name any few movies in recent times that you've seen that was a good one.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to be, or you may get some mail on
Okay,
this first movie.
that's all right.
Harry Potter,
Yeah.
every series. I mean, I have every movie. And I think it's the story of redemption, the story of, it's very Messiah-like
Uh huh.
in a sense. So it does kind of have like a little bit of a Christian, I don't want to say it's a Christian story, but it does mirror a little bit kind of that messianic kind of figure. But also, I think the whole idea of good and evil, I love the storytelling. I love just the ability, again, to transcend. So
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter is really big. It's very inspirational. If a Harry Potter movie is on, I'm watching it. I mean, so that's one. Remember the Titans?
Yep. Yep.
Huge, huge movie for me.
Yep.
Obviously, even where we find ourselves in the world today, we can learn a couple things from Remember the Titans, right?
Yeah.
Of just how to come together like never before. I love the unity aspect of it. I just think Disney makes great films in general. I love the art,
Yep. I do
right? I
too.
mean,
Well, I'll
um,
watch anything Denzel Washington does.
come on, can we just? I didn't say it. You said it, right?
I did. Anything he does, I'm in.
Right.
I'm in.
So though, we'll just start with those. We'll start with those.
So Bible, tell me more. How do you, because as we look at spiritual, input, everybody has their methodology of how you take it in. Are you flat out the Bible, end of story, New King James version, the Hey Dude version, the any other? Do you read commentary on the Bible? How do you take it in?
Well, I mean, I'm getting my master's in biblical leadership.
I was going to ask. Okay.
And so every day I'm reading something, but it has to deal with this master's. And it's actually one of the reasons I wanted to do it, because I realized that I was not as regimented as I wanted to be, in terms of where people have, you got your quiet time from 5 to 6 in the morning, or you do this. And so I wanted to intentionally subject myself to a system that would force me to dive into the scriptures in a deeper way. I think outside of that system, honestly, taking in the Bible and word, I usually do in the car.
Okay.
It's weird, but as you do it in the car, as I'm riding, you've got you have your spoken kind of Bible. But then you also, the worship, I'm listening. I can't tell you how many sermons I listen to a day.
Wow.
I just listen. But one, because I preach, I speak. So the art form, I'm studying the art form. I just happen to be learning about God at the same time. So
I like, the art. I'm not a good auditory. I know I do a podcast. I do multiples, but I'm not real good with auditory input. So I read. I did try while I was working out for a while, an audio or a Bible. And speaking of Denzel Washington, it was one where he was one of the voices.
The Bible series.
Is that it? Very expressive.
That's the series. I remember when it was what's her name? Roma Downey and Mark Burnett, creator of Survivor.
Okay.
They Mark is now one of the one of the executives at MGM out in LA, and they created the Bible series.
Right. I just found the Bible Experience. Yeah. So I listened to that for a good while. Talk about
Bible Experience. Bible Experience.
Bible Experience. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. So you look like you're a fit guy. That comes from habits and routines. What do you do?
I'll be honest. Some of it's unfair. Me and my brother, we have an athletic build.
Yeah.
So if I gain weight, it looks like I got muscles.
How goes to your biceps? That's beautiful.
But I'm actually gaining weight. But I think with that, what I've actually started to do lately, especially because, I'm on this book tour, is, it's funny because I talked to a nutritionist and a fitness coach a couple of days ago. And she gave me a routine that I was kind of already doing, but she just heightened it for me. She was like 30 minutes a day, moving in some kind of way, lifting, cardio. What I was doing about 40 minutes a night because I stay up. I sleep a lot, but I stay up late. Okay. So I'm sleeping in the morning. So people are just like, "Oh, you're missing out on the day." I'm like, "No, when you're asleep, I'm working, right?" So it kind of goes both ways. But I work out. Every night before I go to sleep, I'm doing an hour where I'm lifting and I'm running cardio, heavy cardio. So that's been recent. Aside from that, if I go too long without really formally working out, I have to do something. So that was my rhythm before. And now it's, at least it's going to start being 30 minutes a day, even more. So
you said dietitian, what do you do? Anything specific nutritionally?
I try not to eat fast food as much. I'm not a huge stickler for counting calories and I'm not that guy, but I am, I think the biggest thing that describes me is moderation, right? Moderation. So I try to be moderate in terms of what I'm eating. If I notice I'm eating too many fried foods, I'm like, all right, I need to slow down, right? I need to, at the same time, I can't eat grass all day.
Yeah.
Shout out to the vegans and the vegetarians out there. You've developed the palate, but I'm still getting it.
Yeah, yeah, I fall on those lines, admittedly. All right, you talked about book tour. That can be, well, any travel obviously can be stressful on relationships. What do you do to keep those healthy amongst all you're doing?
Wow. I was going to say this as a habit earlier when you asked about my three. One of them is carving out time for friends.
Hmm.
Friends have to have it. I'm not a super big group guy where I need to be in a group, but I do need one-on-one personal time with some of my guys.
Yeah.
That get me, that know me. And you're married, you're different than your spouse. You need to be around some people that are just like you every now and then, right? Where you're just like, okay, when I didn't have to say anything, you know exactly what I was saying.
I do. No, I want to expound on that. Actually, we talked about, so I've got a group of guys. Well, I've met with a group of guys as long as I can remember. It's, it changes and morphs a little bit, but just that we end up talking more frequently, it seems, on the power, the necessity of the relationships outside, especially outside our marriage. Because I think as we've gotten isolated in our culture, we end up looking at our spouse for everything, and it's
Yeah.
impossible. She can't relate to me as a father, as a all the man
A
roles.
leader
She can't really,
and
yeah, yeah, she
type of
can't
leader you
relate.
are. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. But I appreciate you saying that, yeah, I need guys. I need specifically men in my life that I can relate to in only a way that they can. I think it's such a danger when we don't have that, because I think we by proxy try to find it out from our spouse, and it's impossible. And it puts them in a bad place.
I totally agree with that. And I think one, I would say, I was speaking about her not being able to relate to the type of leader you are. I think all women can lead, though. I want to say that just
Sure,
in
sure, sure.
case as we move.
Yeah.
My wife's a leader. She's got an organization. It's awesome. Um, yeah, man, it's interesting because, no one person is ever going to be able to fulfill everything you need. It's
Yeah.
not happening. And especially when we talk about marriage, you have to have those spaces where you can get away instead of trying to force your spouse to be everything. It's like, baby, care about this as much as I care. It's like, I can't care about everything. It's just like,
Yeah.
they're like, for me, arts and crafts, I'm just never going to care about it like my wife does.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to try to get her to care about sports at the same level that I care about it at.
Yeah.
Or even music. And I'm a huge music head. So, and there are moments she goes with me and there, but when I'm nerding out, hey, did you hear that 808 in the song? Okay, wait, did you hear that bass line is coming in? Up, and she's like, baby, I don't hear it. I don't hear the bass line. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but there are guys I can call and go, did you hear the bass? They're like, the bass line, the bass line. I'm like, I know. So I
All right,
agree.
I'm gonna pick at you again on something music. One of the greatest loves of my life. So who are you into lately? Can I ask that?
Man, I just feel like you keep bringing up my habits, and I'm like, oh, I should have said that. Music is everything.
Oh,
Who am I listening to lately? Wow. I mean, I got to give you the Christian answer first.
okay. All right.
Hillsong for
Yeah.
sure. Travis Green. There's Molly Music is another guy. PJ Morton. We're going more mainstream, but I think there's an artist, and I hate to say it this way, but there's an artist by the name of Brandy, and Brandy played Cinderella. She was like the first Black Cinderella on Disney. And phenomenal artist, Grammy Award winning, incredible. And she's got a new record coming out. The Backstreet Boys was making a comeback at one time. Did you hear about this?
Nope.
The Backstreet Boys, they had a song, they had a video. I said, all right. I was an everybody fan, everybody rock your body kind of thing. I was
Yeah.
So
All right. And what are your classic go-tos musically?
musically,
Yeah.
woo. I mean, is it possible for us to separate the artist from the art?
Yes.
Michael Jackson.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely.
Michael Jackson separated in terms of just as an artist,
Yeah.
um, incredible. I think who else? Boys to Men, incredible. We talked about Hillsong already. Um, Michael Bublé,
Oh, yeah,
Christmas. Can we go? Can we go Michael Bublé Christmas for a second?
totally.
There, I don't think Christmas is Christmas without his album.
Okay, I can go with that.
I just want to throw it out. I mean, and obviously without Jesus, in my opinion, but not without Michael Bublé's album. So that's one. Donny Hathaway, huge. Um, Marvin Gaye, Temptations, so on and so forth. So Stevie Wonder. Oh, how did I miss Stevie?
Mm-hmm.
How did I miss Stevie?
He'll forgive you. He'll forgive you.
I'm back.
No, I appreciate separating the art, the art from the artist. I actually have some music that I like, and my kids will start to tell me something about it. I don't want to, if it's anything negative, don't tell. I don't want to know. I'm going to appreciate their art. I don't want anything to wreck from their personal life. You at this point you have multiple roles. Actually, when people, the age old question, what do you do? And of course you do lots of things, but vocationally, how do you answer that now?
Yeah, I mean, the best way I've been able to say it is I'm an entrepreneur,
Okay.
and people have different examples and definitions of what that is. But I say that because I'm a business owner. I work for myself, and within those businesses, I fulfill certain roles. So,
okay,
professionally, from the outside looking in, I wouldn't say that entrepreneur is in my bio. I would say my bio says speaker, host, consultant, author. But all of those things are funneled under my own business
mm-hmm.
and my own entities that I personally own. So that's why I say I'm an entrepreneur, because it's just easier to explain. And then underneath that, I have certain roles that are front facing in the brand, but behind closed doors, the back end of everything is kind of framed up in an entrepreneurial way.
Being at the place you are now, obviously with the book coming out, or this book coming out, how are you, what's kind of the guiding light to keep you where you think you need to be career and vocationally wise? I ask this a lot because people like you have lots of opportunities, and it's easy to get involved in a lot of things. So the things that you're doing to kind of the boundaries that you try to stay in your lanes.
Yeah. I tend to separate purpose and financial security from each other.
Okay.
Even though they are connected. I think, obviously I give my formula in the book. It's out. I think it's out by now, by the time this comes out, A Greater Story.
Yep.
But I give my formula for purpose kind of being, financial, provision, gifting, passion, all mixed together. So it does involve resource, but I tend to separate the idea of creating multiple streams of income and massive amounts of, let me not say massive amounts, but just kind of wealth from purpose. I think provision has to be involved. I think you have to be able to sustain yourself in it. I think it's one of the indicators that you're in the right place, that there is resource around it. But now the management of those resources, to me, I separate. And then even the growth of those resources. So I say all that to say, there are some things that I do right now to keep the lights on, right? Like there are certain consulting things that I'm going to do that I enjoy, but they don't fall necessarily in what I want to do for the long haul. But I'm really good at it. It makes sense. And it can, it's another stream of income. I think for me, the North Star, it does come back to the idea of what breaks your heart. That question is what guides me every day. What breaks your heart? Well, and I know for me, what breaks my heart is people knowing their purpose and knowing who they are. That's what, and understanding how to actually build the vision that God has given them, or the purpose they feel like they need to fulfill. Actually getting there. That specifically breaks my heart. And so that's my North Star for everything. Everything I'm building is to move towards the ability to be able to just do that.
And if you are hearing that from Sam for the first time, please pause, or as soon as this is over, go listen to episode 807, where we go in depth with purpose in a massively inspiring dialogue that I appreciate greatly. So you talked about managing resources. That's a great segue into finances. What do you do? Habits and routines, things to keep you where you want to be financially.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you can keep. I've heard that. I've also heard um, sometimes you need to turn the faucet a little bit faster and get more income coming in, the whole debt to income ratio.
Yeah.
I think for me, I tend to subscribe to the latter. I definitely try to keep as much as I can from a savings perspective, but I spend more time on building revenue, I believe. That becomes more of my focus than managing the revenue I have. I do manage it 100%, because I think that's important, because if you don't manage it, you lose it. But I tend to really focus on offense rather than defense. I do play defense, but offense tends to be, much more prevalent in terms of creating different streams of income, figuring out how to scale what I do have, moving things along in that way. So that's kind of how I rock and roll.
Yeah, me as well. I'm better at making it than keeping it historically. How about the personal? We usually end on that one. And you talked about a few things that you do, but personal, you mentioned the word fun. And I usually put that in there, fun, play, self-care can come into that role. But the things that you do just for you that makes you a fuller, better, more inspired Sam.
Fun is just so important, Kevin. It's everything.
Tell me.
If we don't have fun, we think that life is about or just about work. And without fun, it's hard to live. Fun, I mean, we've been wired to function off of joy. That's how we've been wired. So in my opinion, I believe God made us. Not to quote too much, I haven't quoted the scripture at all, but I'll quote one, that the joy of the Lord is our strength. Mm-hmm. The idea that joy is our strength. So for me, whenever I'm down, I'm turning on a comedy special. And I'm going to laugh my way out of pain. Right? I mean, fun is so important. Me and my wife chase each other around the house as much as we can, partially because I need more cardio. But
absolutely.
On the other end, it's just, man, if we're not, me and my wife get married. The principle was, if we're not having fun, we're doing something wrong. We're doing something wrong. So fun. Movies, I said that already, but that's my first go-to. Comedy shows, and then outings with friends.
Outings with friends. Fun. Tell me, while I've got you here and we've talked about guys, how you have seen fun, play, experiences, adventures, whatever. How do those play into the people you respect? Where have you seen that come in? Or I could just as well ask, where have you seen the void of that when people don't? Because obviously we're in a culture. I mean, you're in the church environment a lot, and you can get into that. It's work, work, work. We serve, we give. There's not a moment to lose, and there's not much play. So you go with both sides: the good side of someone who invests in that, and the harm of not.
Yeah, I mean, I think every leader that's in my life now loves not just to have fun, but to enjoy themselves. You can see them in moments where they're very difficult, or when things are very difficult, or even pressure filled, them stealing away and going, all right, let's all go over here. Let's all go out to eat. Let's all do this. Or when they accomplish something big, there's a sense of celebration. Let's all go and rock out. And that's very, that's very important. Because again, it gives you, it is what fulfills you. Life is not about accomplishing things, even though life involves that. At the end of the day, life is about relationship, in my opinion. And obviously fulfilling the purpose that's on your life, but there's a large part of life that's just about relationship.
Yeah.
And so if you make it about anything else, it can become hard to fully get the best out of you. You end up chasing the wrong goal.
Yeah.
And so I think relationship and purpose, life is in that zone. And I love what Andy Stanley said. He said that the most important thing you may do may not be something you do, but someone you raise.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of brings back the idea of this is, relationship is such a large part of our lives. And if we're not having fun, it can be easy to forget that. I think on the flip side, I've seen leaders when they don't have fun, they stay stuck in this, they're stuck in this serious world. And when there is darkness, it's hard to have hope
Mm-hmm.
because fun pulls you out of your current reality and into a new one, gives you the ability to separate and to believe that there can be more and that this is not all it is. People that don't have fun have a hard time having hope when things get tough.
Say that again.
People who don't have fun have a hard time having hope when things get rough.
I'm writing that down. That is good, man. And I'll tell you, it's what you just said. Leaders who don't have fun get stuck in this serious world. I have to guard against that. I have to be intentional with fun and play because it doesn't come naturally. It's
Yeah.
like production. So thank you.
It's
Good to hear.
actually progressive and productive.
I'm learning. Thank you for confirming that. So, hey, I'll let you end on if you are talking to a crowd on the value of habits, routines, good habits, routines. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Counsel.
Every decision you make every day determines your destiny. So choose wisely. Don't underestimate the power of having a good time, especially right now in the midst of a pandemic. Many of us need rest and we need to get out of the mundane and we need to take our eyes off of the TV sometimes that can be telling us that everything is headed downhill. Some of you need to separate and you need to get alone and you need to um, release some of the stress. Um, and you need to have fun. And so whether that is doing it alone, what I tend to watch comedy alone, or whether it is finding a crowd that you guys can go and just work together and play together. Don't ever underestimate it. It is one of the biggest ways and one of the greatest ways that we find joy in the midst of pain.
Sam, thank you.
Dr. Miller.
Thank you for the insight. Thank you.
Honored to be here. And again, I always want to salute Zig as much as I can while I'm saluting you as you continue his legacy and even establish your own. Thank you, man.
My honor, and I'll return the salute. Thank you for giving us the time to hear some behind the scenes. Thanks for delivering your art to us. I'm grateful, Sam. Let me hit the right button. That's not it. You still there?
Yeah.
I don't know what I did here. Hold on. There you are. Did I share my screen? Sorry. I think I hit the wrong thing. There we go. Sam, I love interviewing you. I love doing the show, doing this with you. You are just so if you haven't heard it before, your thoughtfulness with questions and your dialogue is so great. I talked to a lot of people, and there are so many who any question is an open door to share their entire message for as long as you'll give them. And the show is so much richer because of your thoughtfulness. You
Wow.
answer the questions, and then you stop. And I wish if you ever want to do a master class on how to give a good interview,
Yeah.
a lot of people, big names, could use it because makes for a good show. Thank you so much. Thanks for your insight. And
You got my number, don't you, Kevin?
I think you gave it to me. Yeah, we texted
Okay.
each other. We sent a
Bro, no,
text back.
I love you, man. Seriously, I'm like, oh, I'm with Kevin again. Thank God, you know. And I was just excited, and I really was serious about us working together in the future, man. I would love to.
I actually had your show. Of course, it hasn't published yet. I downloaded it on my computer. We just did a family trip, and I wanted everybody to listen to it. And we just, it was, as often as half the things I want to do don't happen because it's just the chaos and fun of doing whatever is spontaneous. But when it comes out, I want them to specifically because of I enjoyed our talk together so much. I thought it was so rich. But the discussion on purpose and race has been it's constant talk in our home, and I wanted them to hear what you had to say. So I will do that. It'll come out Monday, and I'll just have them listen to the podcast.
That means the world, man.
But on what you said, I will be thinking of ways to do anything together, and I'll think of other people too, who I would recommend you to be on their show.
That would be great. Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Okay.
I mean, anything to help the book, I'm trying to do as much as I can.
Okay. I will be doing that, and in the coming times, I'll shoot you a text. My team will be in contact with your team about this publishing, this Monday and then the next Monday. And there's, all the custom social media graphics that they do and send.
And I'll repost it.
Yeah. And they post it from my personal page, from the podcast page, and all that kind of stuff. So we do a lot. Man, I didn't go and look how many times. I'll have to go look. I'll send you a text or something. How many views the Facebook Live got? I forgot to look at that.
Like 37,000.
Oh, you saw? Okay.
I looked.
Okay. I've been out offline for the better part of 10 days, so I'm catching up now. Okay, Sam, thank you. We'll get this thing out there. I am grateful to share you and your message, God through you, to the audience. It's an honor.
Good man, bro. Thank you. Such an honor for me.
All right. Hey, I will
talk soon.
I'll be in touch. Yes. Blessings to the rest of your day, Sam.
Thank you, man.
All right. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.